ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between and all over the world, it is my distinct pleasure and my unique privilege to welcome you to this 1 o'clock game here in the middle of the week, right at the business end of the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships 2022 at the University of Limerick. I am Lorcan Murray, and it is my delight to be joined by Troy Western. Troy, can you let us know a little bit about the stakes on play here in this game?
Beefire from Italy, Ultimate Torino, in fact, coming in pool play. They went 2 wins and 1 loss. The only loss was to Epic. They won against El Oso and Frisbee Nate. In power pools, they've so far gone 2-0 against members only and Disterics. Wagon on the other side of the pitch from Australia, Newcastle to be specific. Power pool play, they also went 2 wins and 1 loss. Their only loss to Learning to Fly, which if you were tuned in this morning, have a textbook offensive style. They won against Wombats and MCP. Power pools, they're coming from a 1 win and 1 loss scenario. They also won against Disterics. They had a bit more of a blowout than Beefire did against Disterics, which was a close one. And they lost against members only. Beefire's members only game was a universe point game. So either way, this is going to be a great matchup.
There are legends all over the pitch right now. Ultimate Torino, originally based in Turin, but drawing from clubs across Italy to help bolster their Masters ranks. And then Wagon having a similar enough effect. They've drawn a couple of people. They've got fans not just in Newcastle, but also in Manly and Sydney and all over Australia, as is the nature of some of these Masters matchups. So it will be Beefire starting on offense. We can expect that passionate, powerful Italian stallion-driven offense. We'll see how they react when they go up against the Wagon.
And there's the whistle to start the game. Teams are taking the line.
Got to imagine the matchup, Newcastle and Turin, 2 cities that perhaps not so regularly mentioned in the same sentence. But that's the wonder of Ultimate. That's the wonder of the World Championships. Here on Europe's premier sporting campus, brought to you by WFDF in association with Discraft, for quality discs, quality equipment, all you need, and VC Sports, providing the best athletes in Ultimate with the best threads since 1998. Here goes the pull, and here comes the action. Sprinting to that disc with purpose, Marzo centers it quickly into the middle. Posse out to the sideline. And they're going to keep working it down the pitch smoothly. This is Beefire offense, clearing space, cutting, attacking, and a quick shot for the score. But they're going to call that one out. Beatrice Susana is always going a little bit wayward.
Looking for that break shot right off the bat. Manages to get the flick around her mark, but it can't quite stay in the field as the leaping Torino player tries to keep it in.
So here come Wagon in the opposite direction. A quick break, nicely stepped in front of and taken away by Miol Hinji. Popping it back, Wagon hoping to air it out, but in these conditions it's not going to be too easy for them. And there's the quick turn on the dump. A quick response by Beefire. They want a second look, and this time it is collected for the score.
And that was Quadri on that assist, coming into this game with 6 assists already and 2 goals. Quick to pick up that disc and find his receiver in the end zone. No second thoughts about it.
So you can see the kind of offense that Ultimate Torino are looking to play. Break the mark or swing to the open side, but constantly hitting those open cutters on the unders. Running hard is there. Nice defensive effort, stepping in and knocking down that Susana Fuentes Velez. And a smooth backhand into space for the double happiness for Velez.
Velez also coming into this game with a number on the scoreboard with 1 assist and 7 goals to her name.
You can see this is something that will be repeated. She's going to be difficult to contain, and the opening score goes the way of Beefire. They get the hold. Can they get the break? If out of these two teams, do you think any of them has a particular edge, Troy?
I don't know, is it windier in Australia, in Newcastle, or in Turin?
I would say apparently Newcastle actually gets pretty bad weather. So as far as like the Australian scene goes, they're the ones more acquainted with it, much like the west coast of Ireland in the Irish scene. I don't know too much about the weather habits of Northern Italy.
Me neither.
As here come Pie Wagon, looking to get rolling. Folks to Greeny. Greeny, he looks for Folks, gets him on the second ask. That's going to be a foul called. So Folks absolutely one to watch. He's been dishing it out so far in this tournament. So Greeny going to get the disc back. Conditions continue to impose themselves. That's a dainty little pop over the top to Folks. Sends it down the line. That's Tonkin. Thinks about it, holsters it. Wants Folks staying with him. Good initial defense, but it looks like they're going to stay locked in on those dump cuts. Back to Greeny. Greeny goes to the big floaty pass. Big bid, but nobody able to get in the way. Rossler with the disc on the front of the end zone. Folks makes himself available. He gets it back in the middle, although that disc is going to go back. Anna Rossler, really impressive grab under a lot of pressure.
Sandwiched there by two Torinos. I am surprised that she came down with that. What a great grab by Rossler, and it's no wonder she is also top of the scoreboard for Pie Wagon, coming into this game with 8 assists and 14 goals.
Doing it on both ends, a lethal threat. Here comes Greeny again. This one too close to the Torino defender. Really nicely stepped in and blocked by Barzazzi. A name writ large in European Ultimate as that one is immediately sent one more time. It sits perfectly and is collected for the score. Arnelli, fantastic chase down.
We see our first break of the game right off the gates by Beefire, really taking no pausing at all. They're really quick to take advantage of those turnovers. The immediate block keeps on continuing running to the end zone, pick up the disc and pop it in for that score.
With shots like this, as we see the great step through D by Barzazzi. And then the shot immediately. And if the shots are looking that good, then you gotta be firing them. Had to. Francesca Arnelli picking up the score, showing off her own burners, chasing that one down. And I'd like to point out that the wind was by no means calm when that shot went up. That's one of the best shots we've seen going upwind, I'd say, so far in this tournament.
Yeah, I was about to say, wind? What wind?
I can forgive Pie Wagon for not quite having the defense set, 'cause you're not really expecting that shot, but they'll be expecting it going forward.
And here comes the rain as well. So not surprising, we're seeing the combo definitely can change in 5 minutes, as my fellow commentator Lorcan likes to say, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
It's giving me so much joy. My mother said that to me all my childhood, and it's just great to hear it being passed around as common wisdom. As we'll see if Newcastle, Greeny back to Folk. Folk looking under, finds it in the form of Rossler, but no, another step through D. Barzazzi is showing her prowess. Shutting down Rossler, one of Pie Wagon's best weapons. As there's the quick pop from Mori, a legend in European Ultimate, to Andrea Calo, or Kalanka, known as Calo. That one's going to go back, so Mori gets the disc again, directing traffic.
You have to ask yourself at this point, is Barazzi baiting those underthrows? Because that's 2 in a row now that she's just gotten that run through D on.
There's going to be contact, assuming that's an uncontested foul, which would reset the stall count. Yes, nice little moment of affection between competitors. We love to see it. Andrea Pagano going up against Greeny. So Mori, is he going to look to Pagano again? No, he wants that end zone, and there's another ball. Seems to be a pick. It's important not to get hand signals confused with the general gesticulations with which Mori frequently expresses himself.
That is a stereotype from the Italians, is it not?
No, it's just from knowing Davide Mori.
Oh,
I specifically said Mori and not the Italians. So here we go again. It's popped in. This is a tense, tight affair, but it doesn't matter. Such speed. You're not going to be able to shut down Scazieri in that space. And Mori gets the easy pop for the assist and scored. 3-0 to Beefire, and a powerful opening here from the Italians. Timeout called from Wagon, an understandable decision. And we are going to take a quick message from our sponsors after this highlight, just a quick pop in. And that is all about the cut being made by Scazieri. So we will be back in just a minute after this message from our sponsors. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Beefire, Ultimate Torino, the Masters edition of Be Free, are imposing their will right now in this matchup against Wagon in the mixed Masters pools. So can the Aussies find a bit of space, find a bit of energy? Is there anything you'd like to see them do different, Troy?
Yeah, I think that we really need to see their players running through their discs, because that run through D that Barazzi has gotten a couple of times, I mean, yes, it could be baited, but also it is due to the fact that the Wagon has just stopped running to their disc. They're not going and finishing their cut.
So can we see a marked improvement from an understaffed Wagon? Tonkin sends that down the line, looks to get it back, but can't get there quickly enough. Still count getting high, just about getting off to Folk. He has to fully stretch to pull that one in. Folks looking around, he gets it to Greeny in the middle. Greeny looking, doesn't love it. Defense. Greeny swings it around to Folks. Folks searching. There's the gentle scoop across. This is better. Merck, Greeny, back to Merck. Wagon looking a bit more composed, but struggling to get their downfield cutters more involved. And there it is. Finally getting it to Rossler, but overshooting Folks. It's going to be a call. I imagine Barzazzi's going to retract that and let the turnover stand. Yep, there's the turnover. Thank you very much, folks, for the great hand signals.
Well called there. You definitely predicted that retraction.
So here comes Davide Mori with the disc and the attitude. Looking to drive Beefire into the latter stages of this tournament. It is a pivotal day here Wednesday in Limerick. Gets it back, middle of the pitch. And there it is, another arcing huck. Absolutely magnificent. Crosetto waiting underneath it. Gets it back quickly to Scazieri. So that was a ripped backhand, despite the best efforts of Merck to block the initial fake. Just allowed Mori to bring it across his body, as now we get it back to Scazieri, and then it's to Corsetto again. Corsetto floats one out there. There's a big bit on the defense, but it's not going to get there in time. Barzazzi brings it down. Barzazzi looks to get it back to Mori. Mori, front of the end zone, arcs a flick all the way around, and Corsetto just keeps getting free on the far side.
It is no wonder that Maury has 13 assists with throws like that. That was visionary, absolutely wonderful. Just a leading pass to Céad. He says, hey, Céad, I think if you took 5 more steps to that back corner, that's where we should be. And they met there with the disc. Beautiful throw.
Twice now, Céad just finding himself in acres of space. He's really elusive. He's great at making his defender think he's doing one thing, waiting for the opportunity, and then just slipping them, sneaking away. Really impressive stuff, as you see the hands go up to indicate men. As your hands are out by your side for women, as if you're going to airplane. As here's Barzazi. That was a great catch by Barzazi. Plenty of defensive pressure. And there's Maury opening up the pitch with that beautiful arcing flick across. And that wasn't an easy catch in the end. Céad had to stand tall. Big defensive pressure coming at him.
Céad coming all the way from Torino as well. He's a physiotherapist by occupation. And before this, he played with Ultimate Torino. And he's been to Italian Masters Nationals, and that is his national experience.
So showing off his acumen and his opportunism. As here come Wagon looking to fight their way into this game and get an initial score. Folks, under so much pressure, it's just being piled on him right now. You can see 6 defenders from Beefire all around him in that one moment, as they're looking to keep spreading it about. That's Ruby. Ruby eventually gets it back to Merck. Merck spreads it across. And they're on the far side. This is better, but they're going to have to keep working it. Davies to the sideline. Back to Folks now. Folks, that was a beautiful, sneaky little backhand, slipping it through somehow. Christian gets that down the line. This is better from Wagon, much more like it. This is how they like to play. Davies has it. And passes it along the line and comfortably into the hands for Julian Mellor.
Much better offensive work from Wagon there. I think that might have been the first time we've seen a zone look from Beefire for this game, and so will we see it again now that Wagon was easily able to kind of work that disc up and through the zone, seeming to be much more within their wheelhouse, able to get onto that disc. No need to run through. They're just sitting in the holes and waiting for that disc to come to them.
Folks was getting a lot of joy with those low release backhands. Great work from the uprushing handler to get there in time and help set that up. A nice continuation movement. So I think you're right, Troy. I wouldn't be in a rush to put that zone back on them. You did have a brief moment of rather intense pressure down in front of the end zone, but they saw themselves through it, and then they just screamed down the pitch. Especially considering the joy they were getting on those Ds on the unders, I would go back to match.
Yes, and Julian Mellor there with the goal. This is his career highlight, is this tournament, he says.
Now that's the right attitude. That's how you should be coming to Masters. And that's what we're trying to do here. This is a celebration of Ultimate. We're trying to give everybody their roses for the wonderful work and everything they've contributed to Ultimate. We're also having a good time. Nothing wrong with going to the pub after a hard day of games. As here come Beefire. A beautiful inside backhand break. Cornali just about gets it across. Sisana, sensational. And down the line. That's Velez. Velez, who's been so crucial to so much that they've done. And this is quick fire play by Beefire. They are loving it. Taking their time now as they get into the middle, but quick to speed it up when necessary. Sisana again. Across. Taken in by Quadrizi. Searching, eventually finds the form of Marzo. And this is really good stuff by Beefire. The Italians are not resting. And Marzo shoots it in nicely for Sisana.
Sisana coming into this game with 8 goals of her own. Absolutely on fire this tournament, it would seem.
Sisana. With those collections and 5-1. Wagon really wanted the downwind. They're like, we got a tough upwind break for our first point. Now let's capitalize. Let's really turn it on with some harsh defense. And I don't know if that disc ever stayed in somebody's hands for longer than 3 seconds. As we see one more look at that fantastic layout by Sisana.
Sisana, also a huge community contributor back in Italy. She's actually a coach for the U17, U20 women national Italian team as well.
Well, you can see why. So to all of the fans back in Italy, we hope you're enjoying, you're watching, and you are taking notes. 5-1 to Beefire against Wagon. Their offense certainly looked like it had made the right adjustments and tightened up in the last point. We will see if Beefire stick with the zone, as here comes the massive pull, and Folks is underneath it. Sends it to Greeny. Greeny sends it across. Ooh, and there's the holstered thought from Davis. I don't think that hook would have been too bad a shot, as Beefire have swapped back. That one gets under to Merck. Merck wants to send it. Sends on the second asking. He's got 3 cutters down there and only 1 Beefire defender. You got to think they're going to be able to finish this one off. Sinclair, nope, that makes much more sense. A pick, for the record.
I'm just sitting back here kind of giggling because I can see that you're just so focused on where the disc is. And I'm like, no, that's coming back. That's coming back, man.
Getting too excited. It was a nice shot. It's not an easy one to take on, and I like the ambition from Rob Merck. I also love his name. But yeah, that's going to go back as a pick. It would make sense that Wagon had three attackers going deep.
Ages ago.
That's always the worst when it really goes on, as Merck, looking to reset, is able to do so to Sanders. Sanders searching. Gets the swing back across to Merck. Merck continues it to Greeny. Greeny doesn't like his unders initially. They are being tightly marked in this match defense. Greeny back to Merck. Merck with a nice swinging, sitting break. Folks has it. We know he's got those inside breaks. We know he likes to just dish them out quickly. And that one was by no means an easy catch for Davis. Davis back to Greeny. Greeny with the disc. Spreading that one out, and there's just pressure absolutely everywhere you look. Bubbles gets it long, pop back up to Folks. Folks, front of the end zone, looking to shoot, and gets it to the streaking form of Sarah Sanders.
Sarah Sanders, also known as Bubbles in the Ultimate community. She is got a great list of club experience. Started in Sacramento, went to Des Moines, Denver, captained a bunch in 2019, 2021, and finally landed herself in Newcastle in 2022, where she's does play with the women's team back in Newcastle. They want to shout out a hello to the Sugar Mags, and I-Beams also being their men's team there. They do want to say hello to them.
Really great stuff from Sanders. You could see the link-up play she had initially, getting that disc, sending it to Anderson. Anderson plays it further along the line to Folks, and finishing off the play. So the throw and go. Really great stuff from Wagon. So the offense is there. Taking a little while to get into this game, but 2 up-win scores in a row shows what they can do. Can they find a way to douse this Italian flame? Because right now they're getting burnt to a crisp when the Italians are on the offensive end. Here they come one more time. Posse has the disc, sends it back into the middle. And Marzo back to Posse. You see how quickly Posse barely holds onto the disc before he's giving it away to somebody else. Nicely down to Susana. Susana. It's Velez. Velez opts to send it back to Fatanato. Fatanato all the way across the Posse. Big jumping D. Will Perry pops up and knocks that one away. Wagon with their first defensive look, and they don't opt for the immediate huck, disappointingly to some, but makes sense. Rice has it. Turns off the open side under. Instead with a high release flick. Taken in almost. Really great cutting by Wagon. But unfortunately they couldn't quite corral that disc. Posse picks it up. Wagon going with the cup. Trying to shut down what they can. Rice going with the face marking, which is an interesting touch on a 3-person cup. That's Susana on the opposite sideline. Looking. Doesn't like any of the immediate options. Goes to Posse instead. Posse sends it back to Marzo. Marzo to Posse. Back to Marzo. Wants Posse again. And their give-go offense. I like that they're trying different defenses to stop it. I don't know if the cup is the right way to stop this particular movement, as they get it down the line. Quadrizi working with Corsetto. Corsetto now wants Posse. Can't get it to him. Instead opts to send it back to Fatanato. Fatanato now gets all the way across to Posse. Posse down the line, and waiting there again is Quadrizi. Posse. Marzo. Marzo spreads that across to Fantinato. Fantinato as Marzo again in the middle, and they're just so patient. Posse, is he going to hold on to it? That's the longest I've seen him retain possession in this game. And he's touched it about 30 times. Quick pop, pop, action. In the end, I believe that was Marzo sending it to Quadrizi.
Quadrizi just absolutely racking in the points as well. 6 assists, 2 goals coming into this game today. And that was a beautiful shred, just absolutely shredded that zone, that Pie Wagon zone.
That is the exact verb I would use to describe it. To shred, to utterly destroy something by ripping it apart.
And Beefire would like to give a shout out to Be Free. So
The regular team in Torino, and of course the wider Italian ultimate community, something that is quite renowned in Europe for its youth program. I think it's only appropriate that we try to shine a light and a little bit of praise on the master system that they have there as well. A lot of examples of real community-based ultimate coming out of Italy, always inspiring. So Pie Wagon, 6-2 down, and nothing they seem to be or not much of what they seem to be doing is really impacting that Beefire offense. They got one turn, but they couldn't capitalize, as now they have to go upwind for a 3rd time in a row. Let's see how they do, folks. Middle of the pitch. He has the under. He has an incredibly close defense. Eventually he gets it to Merck. Merck sets that one up and lays it out, but slightly too far ahead of the streaking Anderson. And Beefire want to waste no time. They're going straight back at it. The shot to the end zone. Signed, sealed, delivered to Arnelli.
beautiful streaking cut from Arnelli there on that turn. And that great throw from Pagano. 14 assists, 2 goals coming into this tournament, and that is why. Beautiful shot.
Airing it out. The turn happened, and almost immediately you could see them wanting to go for that shot. They haven't gone for too many big shots in that direction. They have those 2 massive hooks into the wind from the D-line. The D-line clearly likes to air it out, where the O-line is a bit more of that give-go style offense. What a weight. Beautifully into the path.
And we are taking a timeout here. It seems not surprising that Pie Wagon needs to try to do an adjustment. And so as they take a bit of a timeout, we're going to take a little breather as well. We'll be back.
As we come back, and who doesn't know about fashion struggles? We're all trying to make our way in this world. We're all trying to look good while we do it. And I tell you what looks good right now, and that is Beefire. 7-2 in charge, and that offense has been slick. That defense has been rushing. So they want to put another break. Davide More going with the big rolling pull. Really well done. That's one of the better pulls into the wind we've seen. As Folks picks it up, sends it to Greeny. Greeny looking to arc that one around. Taken in by Merck. Merck looking for options. Back to Greeny. And Pie Wagon are really struggling to get their women free downfield, a testament to the incredible defensive pressure that is being put on them by Beefire. Every time they come for those unders, they're well set up, but they're well shut down as well. Greeny has the option. Looks off the end zone shot. Here comes the quick pop over the top, but unfortunately it also goes over Sarah Sanders.
That is a tough throw to really get precise in this wind, because those pop passes will just be carried away.
Maury airs that one out. Bit of float. There's going to be foul call on the contact. Galacana going up against Folks. Nope, that's retracted, and there's the turnover. Once again, thanks to Folks for using the turnover hand signal, which is also eerily similar to the hand signal, but Greeny, front of the end zone. Once the push pass doesn't go for it. Oh, I think everybody here in the Southern Hemisphere wished he did, but they get the shot eventually to Sarah Sanders, once again bubbling up for the score.
Good patience that we saw from Greeny. There was a bit of a bump on the mark, likely calling a contact, I'm gonna guess, just because play did not stop, but you could clearly see that the mark was bumping him a little bit, just a little bit anxious and trying to really shut down that pass in the end zone, but couldn't, as Greeny was so patient and waiting for someone to get open, and who other than Sanders or Bubbles does that just for him.
Yeah, you can see things getting just a teeny bit physical on the mark, but to be expected, and Greeny preferring to play through it rather than call it, which is understandable. I do think in that situation, if the shot to Sanders hadn't been immediately there, and there's the little spirited discussion just letting him know after the fact. Maturity shining through, spirit of course to the fore here at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships 2022.
Greeny with that assist on that one comes from a long history of playing Ultimate in Australia. Career highlight of winning a bronze medal with the Australian Open team, also known as the Dingoes, way back in 2004.
I've always enjoyed the fact every Australian national team is named after a different animal.
What animal is the Pie Wagon?
No, national teams. So like the Dingoes of the Open, the under-23 Open are known as the Goannas. Oh, and there's a quick turnover, so an opportunity for Pie Wagon to strike back. That disc was always a little awkward for Merck to get onto the end of. So now we get Quadrizi. He gets it to Marzo. Marzo looks to spread that one around. It might bobble over the head of Sassana. So you can tell from a couple of these passes that the wind is up and active. Wouldn't have minded Merck going for that instead. That's a scathing inside break. Really nicely played. Tonkin, who's been a very important player for Pie Wagon so far in this tournament, winds up and launches that disc straight at our scorer's tent.
It's a good thing the tent is there. That could have really hurt someone.
One of the many reasons why we are incredibly thankful for these top quality tents. And you know what else is top quality? The greatest ultimate bag, the #1 bag for ultimate players, as we have got a timeout called by Mattia Marzo. Beefire looking to put this game away and take half. Might as well burn your second timeout of the half before it ends. And we are going to take a little break ourselves for these messages from our sponsors.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
We are back with Mattia Marzo on the disc. 2 assists already to his name. And a crucial part of this offense. But every single one of these 7 players on this Beefire O-line is crucial. They love to dink and dive, dodge, dive and dodge with the disc. Marzo looking, searching, and there's the quick turnover. The turnout comes through one more time. He couldn't find his posse. As now we see Sanders. She's searching a bit herself, and unfortunately another turnover. The ruble continues to fall. Quadrizi centers it into the middle. And there's a nice shot down the line. This is great play by Fantinato. And she airs out an arcing shot all the way to the end zone, but sniffed out and snuffed out by Anna Rossler. So once again, Merck will have to pick it up on his end zone line with the wind howling in his face as he searches for a response for this Pie Wagon team. They don't want to go into half 5 points down. Gets it across, and that shot well taken in by Sanders. She's got clamps for hands. Merck taking flight and bringing that one in. Got to follow it up with a flick hook. Doesn't matter if it's completed, you just have to do it. That's the rule. I don't make the rules, I just enjoy them. Marzo, Quadrizi. Has options in the middle, chooses instead to go around, and the nigh unstoppable Fuentes.
Well capitalized again on that quick turn by Beefire. They are certainly on fire with these transitions, but that was for the hold, but I'm still really liking what I see. Both their D-line and their O-line love to just pick it up and go as soon as that turnover happens.
So will you expect them to power through and take this game, or can Pie Wagon get those wheels a-turning and make a bit of a comeback and rein in these Italian Stallions? It's all to play for and all here to see in the second half. We will be back in just 6 short minutes here for free on the WFDF YouTube channel.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. LT.TV.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlinger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that
that's the only possible system that you might need to do. I'll be running on that and like get my attention. So I would actually feel that way about that. I had to make money when I was in Mexico.
Welcome back to the action here at World Masters Ultimate Club Championships 2022 in sunny, sunny Limerick on Europe's premier sporting campus, the University of Limerick. We are watching Ultimate Torino Beefire burning their way through this matchup 8-3 over Wagon from Newcastle, Australia. Davide More. Cannons another pull deep into the Wagon half against the interest of the wind as Folks gets it to Greeny. Greeny and Folks really leading this offense, with Merck being a crucial member as well. But this is where they run into trouble. They cannot get any separation seemingly from their downfield female cutters against this tight Beefire offense. As another turnover, that one bounces out of Tonkin's hands. Here comes Maury. We've seen him rip some into the wind already. This time he decides against it. Another man not afraid of a hook, Pagano. Gets to Corsetto. Corsetto sides against. Oh, I think Pagano might have cut off his downfield option. Here comes Maury. He wants it. He sends it. It stays low and Tonkin picks it up. Here comes Greeny. Searching but not liking his options. They're really having to rely on a lot of close action. Stall count gets high. He puts a big arcing one up and finds eventually a receiver in the end zone. And well taken in. Anna Rossler, once again, another score for this Wagon offense.
Absolutely. I think that was a stall 9 huck down the field from Greeny. He had not a lot of options there, with his mark flailing about, creating all kinds of problems for him getting that disc off. But what a phenomenal ending to that stall count as that throw comes off. We're just going to take another look at it here. Beautiful release under the arms and just awaiting Rossler in the end zone. Really nice.
So Wagon getting away with one on the desperation side of things, but they're really struggling to get some separation and get the disc to their downfield cutters. Primarily their women. Sanders has had some joy getting free. Rossler, of course, is one of their premier cutters. And there with a little bit of an ole as that Italian bull comes roaring past her.
And Wagon would just like to say hello and a big shout out to their teammates Stu, Liz, Annetta, Zoe, the other Liz, Emily, and James, who are watching and cheering them on. Certainly they must be watching this broadcast and they wish you were down here on the field with them as well.
Our best wishes going out to their teammates who are unfortunately unable to join them. As here comes that offense that is so difficult to stop. Beefire rushing their way down the field. Although there's a quick turnover, an unexpected one. So now Merck with the disc, and they're hoping to quickly power their way back into this matchup. Christian, back to Merck. The wind is howling. We know Merck doesn't mind uncorking them when the opportunity comes. That opportunity doesn't seem to be coming, and there it is. Forcing it down the sideline, lots of pressure, and cleaned up on the other end by Corsetto. Corsetto gonna walk that to the front of the end zone. Looking, eventually finds Posse. Posse overshoots Sassana, and it goes out the sideline. So Wagon with a chance at a break and in the final third.
Right there, knocking on the door. You gotta say, Chris, Posse with the sunglasses, I'm not sure I love that choice.
Maybe affecting his depth judgment. Quick swing around. This is better from Wagon. So Perry, he has a block already. He looks to add an assist. It floats, it hangs, and it's almost collected. 2 bobbles, but just too many people underneath it.
I thought we might see some kind of contact or foul call from that, but that looks like it was quite a nice, clean jump ball, all team. So kudos to all of those players who were underneath there and managed to get a piece of that without contacting other players.
It had the potential to be a house of pain, but in the end, everyone was able to jump around pretty safely. As that resets. Posse searching for options downfield as they align themselves. Seems to be looking at Sassana. Sends it, but oh, and that's a touch! And that's why you catch your D's. Corsetto chasing, never give up on a play, especially in these conditions. Completely free on the other side is Sassana for the score, and they get away with one, 9-4.
You really have to catch your D's, especially in wind like this, because macking it is just not going to do anything but make the disc travel somewhere else in this wind. And when you've got an experienced roster like Beefire, they are already there waiting, because you definitely, like you said, Lorcan, you follow the play. The disc is not turned until it hits the ground.
Really unfortunate. That was a rather spectacular mac, if we're being honest.
You can see Anderson just hang her head back a little bit after she did that, knowing exactly what she had just done.
Big credit to Beefire, though, not rushing anything and throwing the disc away once they got it. 2 cutters, both split opposite directions. Sassana is the one the defender didn't track. So nice, easy finish for Corsetto. So once again, we see the Beefire D-line come out. Let's see how Wagon can respond. Greeny searching, goes with a big backhand himself straight away. The wind's going to assist that. Help it sit. Can Merck get there in time? He can.
Greeny just airing that out. The wind assisting a little bit with that. Merck able to read that, track that, no problem, even as it comes down with a bit of an IO edge on that. He gets right underneath it.
I feel like that disc was going to hit the ground. I feel like it was going to go down. As you can see here, it comes out low, seems to be staying low, and then at this point the wind goes, so Merck might have been able to get on the end, but he would have had to do something pretty spectacular. And instead the wind just decides, you know what, I've been kind of mean to you guys so far, here's a favor, have one back.
Merck with 9 assists and 2 goals coming into today. Just a great read. Definitely adding another couple to his scoreboard in this game.
So here comes the pull from Wagon. And a very nice pull. Landing pretty much perfectly on the brick mark. Don't know if you could do that on purpose if you wanted to do. Marzo spreads it, gets it to Posse, slides to collect. Acres of space in front of him, sends it into the middle, waiting there for it was Pagano. Pagano, a maestro with the disc, sending it down there. He's looking for Fuentes. It was always difficult, that back end zone. Hard to tie the line, toe the line.
It's hard to tie a line too.
Especially one that's on the ground. So Christian, pick up that disc, take to the front of the end zone.
Christian with 13 assists and 2 goals, which is pretty impressive from a D-line player.
Launching that one, giving us a little insight into why he has so many assists. That is a beautiful put into the wind, but Gano was wise to it the whole time. And they're taking their time. No need to rush anything. Marzo with the disc. Ooh, he doesn't like his initial few options. In the end, gets it to Susana, but she has to lay out. Pagano winds up and uncorks another one. He's looking for Fuentes again. He knows what he wants. But another difficult one to read. Puts enough sit in it to make it to the end zone, but never quite sure where it's going to come down.
The wind is really doing some unpredictable things to that disc. I don't blame her for not catching it. Kind of topsy-turvy, goes in one direction, falls back, comes in back in another direction. Just impossible.
So Christian with the disc, front of the end zone, right in the start, tries to get it down the line, gets it despite the best defensive efforts. Anderson pops it back to Christian. Anderson just about able to get that one off. Christian sends it down, but it's bobbled and hits the ground. So Beefire get another look at their offense. Trying to hold. Marzo being a bit more conservative this time. Susana, plenty of options in front of her. Eventually gets one, and it's this arcing around form of Cornali. Cornali gets it just off to Pagano. Pagano in front, and he can break the mark at will. Instead gets the easy open side pass to the difficult to corral Cornali.
Again, Beefire really capitalizing on that quick turn, but they are showing a good amount of patience when they do get the turn, waiting for something to open up. And Coglione with that catch in the end zone. Comes from Italian mixed background and Italian open. That must not be the right person. Sorry about that. Cornali, pardon me. Lara Cornali with that catch.
A great grab by Lara Cornali, who has just made the step up into the Masters division at 30 years old, turning this year. Earlier on you were talking about, Troy, that you didn't care for people wearing sunglasses. Is that because it's not that bright right now? Or is that because, is it like a fashion thing or a tactical thing?
For me, it's tactical. I mean, I feel it very advantageous to be able to look my teammates in the eye or make eye contact or some kind of communication while looking at someone, and it's very difficult to tell if someone wearing sunglasses is in fact looking back at you.
Very fair point. Communication is key to offense. As we see, part-time player, full-time coach for Wagon picking up the disc. That one, unfortunately, is a bit too low for Merck to pick it up. So now Mori, front of the end zone. He's looking, he's waiting. He wanted that one cut all the time from that one woman, Sofia Scazieri. That's her second goal of the game.
And Mori on that throw, he's got a lot of teaching Frisbee experience as well. He's a founding club member all over Italy, really loves creating new players every single year. His sporting hero, Michael Jordan, and here he is with that assist.
I think those who know Mori understand the similarities between himself and Jordan in commitment. And all he wanted to do, that entire point, from the moment he picked it up, he was looking at one person, and that was Sofia Scazieri. And he was just saying, look, make your cut. We both know you're going to cut to the one side. You're going to stop on a dime, turn, and go to the other one. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. There you go. And throws the backhand. And that is understanding. And also perhaps a bit of eye-to-eye contact and communication.
Exactly. Plus, it just makes those no-look backhands a little harder.
nothing wrong with the no-look backhand. So that was an upwind break as well, a really unfortunate one for Wagon to give up. 11-5, they are down 6 points in the difference. They'd found their feet to an extent after the early concessions they made, but I was wondering were they leaving it too late to come back, and now Beefire seem to be turning up the intensity one more time. That's Sanders with the disc coming up against this Beefire zone. The last time they did this, Wagon shredded it quite effectively, so will they be able to do that this time? Smith to Folks to Greeny, to Sanders. Sanders looks to lead that one through the middle, and does so. Now it's on the far sideline. Looking, searching. I think that's Nikki Smith, who's just stepped onto the pitch for them. In lieu of them dropping players, normally a full-time coach. So now you see Merck back into the middle. Sanders spreading it around. And Sanders is really bringing an expansiveness that they so desperately need on this offense right now. Hitting Roster. Roster gives it back to Folks. Folks now to Merck in the middle. Merck goes for the hammer over the top. Roster keeps finding herself in the right position. Sanders again. Sanders looks to lead it along. That's Smith. Smith searching. Doesn't like the shot to Tonkin. Well defended by Corsetto. Smith takes her time, but takes too much time in the end. And that is knocked down into the ground by Pagano. Pagano with a block to add to his assist and calls a quick time out. Understandable. We need a moment to catch our breath, so we're just going to send you over to some of our ads during this timeout. And we are back. Troy, there was something you noticed on that last possession for Wagon you wanted to mention.
Just Rob Merck with those two really clutch throws during that point. Or, I don't know, clutch, but just phenomenal experience throws. The first one, as he catches it, popping through the cup, he's literally falling from his knees forward, and he throws it up for the continuation, really not wanting to miss that quick opportunity. So throwing while falling and maintaining a nice flat disc in the air. The second one being that really nice hammer over to the open side to really open up that field for them. Just a phenomenal handler.
All right, you can see that they've gone with a zone look Wagon to try and shut some options down. And now they're just trying to switch. They've switched to match. Here comes the big deep shot. It's Merck. He's going up against Corsetto. Corsetto almost takes it down. I think that's an immediately uncontested foul. Yeah, it certainly looks like Merck is uncontesting that foul straight away for Corsetto. Yeah, he's going to pick that disc up at the front of the end zone. They've tapped it in, so now he can walk. As soon as his foot hits that end zone line, the disc is live. And here we go. There's a violation. That's incorrect, I believe. There's a little bit of confusion because they did the ground tap as if to say, okay, everyone can move now after the foul call, while he walked it to the front of the end zone. And I think the violation was called on the movement once he stood on the end zone line. So they're just going to have a conversation about position and where it's fair to be.
Not surprised we saw a foul call on that. Corsetto had clearly gained a really good possession on Merck, and I mean, it was a good effort by Merck, but he just couldn't quite get a part of that disc without coming over top of Corsetto.
So it's going to come in on, I believe. There you are, and that's a great initial peel off, but not long enough. Céad with the wonderful shot to Francesca Arnelli, her 3rd goal of the game.
It's really nice to see the calm discussions that we're having on on the field right now, and that's basically what Spirit of the Game is all about. We do happen to have game advisors on the sideline, and there have been a number of calls. We have yet to see the game advisors really step in and have to take any kind of action, though, as these two teams are really clearly communicating well with one another.
And that is something that you love to see. As much as we want to celebrate International Ultimate and have as many teams from as many different places meet each other, play with each other, interact with each other, there's the reality of the difficulty of language barriers at times, and sometimes miscommunication. There's different types of cultures, something you see come up quite a lot as we look again at that final shot from Céad to Arnelli. 3rd score of the game. Arnelli is having herself quite the matchup. But as I was saying, is you see the different cultures coming together, the different ways they interpret the rules. It's great to have the game advisors there to provide a denominator, a baseline. So saying, like, this is the ruling. I get maybe you play a little bit more physical in Australia, or maybe you like to, there's a bit more bumping of the mark in Italy, but look, these are the rules. And how you're going to interpret them has to be a collaborative process. So here comes Greeny. Greeny gets the under and inside to Anderson. Merck getting down, getting dirty. Picking up the disc, gets it back to Folks. Folks looking, and there's a nice backhand arcing around to Greeny again. Greeny's searching, Davide Mori's impeding, and there's the shot to the front corner. Not quite in yet, back to Greeny. Greeny, Folks is trying to get free, goes for the pop, over the top, and it is collected by Merck. So for the first time in this game, I'm going to pronounce Greeny's name correctly, as he outlined it. Greeny with the push pass pop for the score.
And what a veteran pop pass we see from Greeny here.
Veteran.
He's going to be 54 this year.
That's a man who's just done everything and at this point is out here having fun. I wonder if I could get away with this. And it turns out, yes, you can. Excellent pass. Huge bid from Merck. Keeping it up. There's the nice reset. You can see he's got it holstered. That's all he wants. He said no to it earlier on. There's the cut. I think he's trying to get it to Folks. Doesn't matter, gets to Merck in the end, who after that layout to save possession really deserved that one.
How is that man not tired yet? You just see him on point after point, O-line and D-line, doing everything.
Merck putting in that work. I also want to give a little acknowledgement to Taryn Anderson as well. She finally got a bit of separation, was key on a couple of possessions in that point to keep the flow going. Doesn't like to let the disc stagnate with her, so when she does get on those unders, it's quick to pop it back and keep it moving. So it was a really integral part to the offense that they ran. That's another big pull by Anderson, or Christian. So here comes Posse, a flick break all the way across. And getting it, here's a nice arcing backhand, that's Susanna chasing it down, goes to her knees just to make sure. Looking, options, doesn't like the first one, and that was a contested space. There's gonna be a foul called. Valentino against Sanders, uncontested by Sanders, very understanding of her. So Fantinato is going to get it at the front of the end zone. And then just immediately shoot it across for the quick and easy score to Fuentes.
Fantinato comes from a team that won Paganello last year.
Now that's an accolade you can be proud of, because most of the people I know rarely remember the latter stages of Paganello.
You know, Paganello has always been on my bucket list, but I haven't made it.
It's always been on my bucket list as well. Although I worry the fear I would have waking up the next day after Paganello would kill me. As we're going to have another look at this nice little shot for the end. The quick cutting, I mean, it's so hard to contain Fuentes. I do not envy the defenders who've been tasked with guarding her this week.
Fuentes also new to the master scene, turning 30 later this year.
Showing off those youthful legs. Difficult to contain in the end zone. Especially on that short game. They're so in tune with each other, making those cuts just to get enough space and expecting the quick leading pass from their handlers. Really have to say that this Beefire team is very deep. A lot of really quality players. They use the full length of their 7 whenever the opportunity calls for it. Folks, he has Greeny in the middle. So he goes to the pop and gets it back. That was Rossler to Greeny. Greeny back to Folks. Folks, a nice break over the top to Tonkin. Tonkin's had a rather quiet game, which we were not expecting in this one. Testament to the defense. Another push pass. Wagon like this kind of game, and that's much more like the Aussies. Rossler in the end picking up the score.
Really clean offense that time coming out the gate for the Aussies. Very nice.
I honestly expected a lot more of that from them through this game. The quick fire, zigzagging. I think maybe they just got rocked early and kind of struggled to find their feet after that. Now they're 13-7 down.
Just another look at that play.
So here is the, that's Tonkin with the quick leading pass, push pass. Gets some great distance for how softly he does it, and then Folks has got those backhand breaks for days. We've seen him get low and scoop many a disc in this match alone.
Tonkin, who boasts he had to try all the sports when he was younger. Peach did a nice beach mixed worlds experience in 2017 in France with Australia.
In Royan, I was also there. That was quite an amazing tournament, and a big shout out to the organizers of that event. Bula as well, Beach Ultimate Lovers Association. Really great facilities, really great experience. As now we see Marzo bringing his experience to bear for this offense. As he does, that stall was getting high. He gets it to Sasana, pops it down the line in the waiting hands of Cornali. Cornali back to Sasana. Still faking, swings it eventually into the middle. Just about gets it off, and now Posse again with it. Posse spreads it out wide. Waiting for him is Crossetto. Crossetto shoots and scores to the end zone. And that is collected by Lara Cornali for her second goal and putting Beefire 1 point away from finishing this game.
Was that a little inside lefty backhand that you love so much, Lorcan, from Posse we saw there just before the end zone?
I enjoy inside breaks. Either of them, generally more the backhand, because it's kind of graceful. A lot of people have like a step and a throw low or something like that. The backhand, the lefty backhand I hate is like the high over the shoulder one.
Yeah, that was definitely a low release one if it was one.
They make it look very good. Earning the right to wear those sunglasses.
Oh, we might get a look at it here. Oh, he's actually a lefty, so that would make sense then.
I mean, lefties aren't real. But lovely shot from Crossetto to Cornali for the score. And they're really spreading the love around. Because we were coming into this, we were looking at some of the stats leaders, and they were kind of as you'd expect. And we're seeing so many other players have such a huge impact for this team, with Quadrizi, Crossetto. Susanna has been quiet in terms of stats, but massive in terms of stature. As we see Wagon getting to take this one inside Beefire's half. Folks picking it up. And he's gonna go with a quick backhand of his own. Greeny spreading it to Merck. Merck airs it out. And that's a great catch down in the end zone. Really well done. And Rossler has come alive in this second half. But it might just be too little, too late.
It's easy to see why she's definitely got the most goals on her team, racking them up for this game as well.
So Wagon continuing to fight, and we see glimpses of this quick fire, slick offense that just tears through the defense, throwing around them and through them. So we're going to have another look here. Great grab by Greeny, immediately turning and spreading it to Merck. And then Merck just with the shot. Lots of pressure, big time bidding, but in the end, Rossler stands strong, comes away with it.
Grossler, another member of an Australian beach team, this time in 2019. And she wishes she could say hi to her family, including her brother Simon. So, hi Simon.
It's a big shout out for everybody cheering on Rossler at home, giving you plenty of reasons to cheer individually, if perhaps Wagon didn't quite have the team performance here they were looking for. That early 4-0 lead that Beefire stole out into, really showing they've had Wagon on the back foot since. So can they finish the game? Posse picks it up. Was thinking about the leading pass. Decides against it, goes with a quick pop to Marzo instead, and he just shoots it straight through the middle to Céad. Back to Marzo. He has Posse on the outside of him. Posse. He has Cornali in front of him. Wants to fake a few things instead. First, Marzo, and I love that. Faking at the cup. Make them move. Make them commit to a certain direction. Throw it in another one. Arcing. He sears that one across the pitch somehow to Fantinato. Back to Posse in the middle. Posse spreads it to Marzo, and they've shown they can throw through this cup. Now they're going to throw within it. Posse. Marzo. Matei Marzo. Into the middle, spreading it around. Fantinato hits who else but Cornali for the score, and the W 15-8 to the power of Beefire.
And I mean, if not an exciting end to this game, one thing you can definitely praise, and I used to say as a captain all the time to my team, is we want to see on the field is boring ultimate, which means you just tick-tock, easy passes down the field. Not to say that all of those passes were easy, because some of those low release through the middle of the cup were certainly, like that one there.
They just make them look easy. Doesn't necessarily mean they are.
But just a tick-tock all the way down the field, textbook zone breaking there by Beefire.
Really impressive stuff from the Italians, and a statement of intent for where they hope to ascend the rest of this tournament. Thank you so much for joining us for this game. It's been broadcast copyright 2022 of the World Flying Disc Federation. I've been Lorcan Murray.
And I've been Troy Weston, and will continue to be.
One would only hope, and we will hope you will continue to be with us as we bring you more action throughout the rest of the day and the rest of the week. But for now, it's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Alti.tv. Alti.tv.